St. Patrick is often remembered through symbols and celebrations, but his actual story began with fear, isolation, and captivity. As a teenager, he was kidnapped and enslaved far from home. Years later, after escaping, he made the unexpected decision to return voluntarily to the people who once held him captive. St. Patrick was born in Britain during the late 4th century into a Christian family. When he was still young, raiders captured him and brought him to Ireland as a slave. He spent years tending animals in isolation, separated from his family and homeland. During that time, his faith deepened through constant prayer and dependence on God. Eventually, Patrick escaped and returned home, yet the experience of captivity continued shaping him long after his freedom. Over time, he became convinced that he was being called back to Ireland, not as a slave, but as a missionary and priest. What defined Patrick was his willingness to return with forgiveness rather than resentment. The people connected to his suffering became the people he chose to serve. Patrick devoted his life to preaching the gospel throughout Ireland, often traveling into unfamiliar and difficult regions to teach and baptize. His sainthood emerged through perseverance, missionary courage, prayer, and a profound trust in God's guidance. Patrick did not erase the reality of what had happened to him. Instead, he allowed suffering to be transformed into mission. The years of isolation and hardship that once seemed destructive eventually became part of the preparation for his vocation. His life reflected a Christianity centered not on revenge or bitterness, but on mercy, endurance, and faithful service. St. Patrick is best known as the missionary bishop associated with bringing Christianity more deeply into Ireland. He is connected with preaching, conversion, baptism, and the growth of Christian communities throughout the region. Many people also associate Patrick with the shamrock because of the tradition that he used it to explain the Trinity. Beyond symbols and celebrations, Patrick is remembered for missionary faithfulness, endurance through suffering, and his willingness to forgive the people connected to his captivity. His story continues speaking to themes of mercy, vocation, and spiritual transformation. The defining moment of Patrick's life came when he chose to return voluntarily to Ireland after escaping slavery and regaining his freedom. That decision changed the meaning of his entire story. Patrick could have remained safely at home and left the past behind him. Instead, he believed God was calling him back toward the very place associated with fear, suffering, and loss. The moment mattered because it revealed the depth of his forgiveness and the strength of his mission. Patrick's response transformed captivity into service and suffering into an opportunity to bring hope and faith to others. St. Patrick reminds us that God can transform even painful experiences into mission. Forgiveness and faithfulness can lead people back into difficult places with renewed purpose and hope. St. Patrick, pray for us.